Minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
The following program is rated TVMA for language. We want everyone to be able to enjoy the program, but sometimes things happen, and we may say things that may be offensive to some or non-conducive to others. So in other words, shit happens. Oops.
Niggas coming.
Everything's in disarray. Everything. I just want to say that out the gate.
Fine. What are we talking?
Everything's just fucking right. Okay, you niggas didn't pop up on the screen until 30 seconds ago. I didn't know what to do.
You sound very troubled, my son.
I didn't see you niggas. I was worried.
You need the love of the Lord to try and help you out, my nigga. Like what?
I need to see niggas before I go live. Anyway, this is not how it's supposed to start off. 30 seconds in. Welcome everybody to another episode of Blerd. It happens, sir.
I don't know.
Blerds
It's just somehow every single time I feel like we don't even do the original intro no more. Something always goes wrong.
Something happens and it ain't on me. Everything is fine. It just happens.
What are you, Tyra Banks? Nothing's your fault.
And listen, I believe that the girls. Tyra Banks is a supervillain. We will talk about that later.
Rooting for you, Jay.
How dare you learn from this?
Hey man, the lesson to be learned was if someone calls you out on your shit, that's how you get better, right? You don't just innately be a better person. You have to be taught.
Or you run to Australia and tell them I live in Australia now. Fuck what y'all talking about. I got ice cream. Anyway. Are you in charge of the girls? I am in charge of the girls. Are you in charge of the girls? I am in charge of the girls. Anyway, I'm your resident.
Hey, are you familiar with the Shanti situation? I can't talk about production.
I can't talk about. For those who are wondering, what are we doing? The America's Next Top Model documentary is out on Netflix, and we're going to talk about it. Tyra Banks is McGruff the crime dog throughout the whole thing, but she's pursuing the leads in the case where she's the prime suspect, and she is guilty as fuck. Anyway, I'm Jay Washington. That's Winston A. Marshall. Thank you, everybody who is here right now. More so, sincerely, thank you to everyone who was with us this past Sunday for our marathon stream, man. We stayed on live for 12 hours. And I'll be honest, without you all, I don't know if we would have kept going the way we did. I want to speak on behalf of Winston real quick, if I may, and say a special thank you to Dwayne Burke and Matt Thomas, the two producers behind the scenes. You guys helped make this show what it is and helped us go along so far. With that, thank you to Amaru for joining in and Blerds Got a Feud. Sincerely, we do appreciate it, all the love, support. You know, everybody kept giving, and people who want to keep giving, we will talk about that throughout the show. Before I throw it, well, go ahead. Do what you got to say real quick before we start, because I want to say one thing before we go into everything of what you've been doing. So go ahead real quick.
I don't have anything to say. Pretty much.
Okay, real quick, before we go and I ask this first question, I want to stop and send a special shout out to Jake Icavetta, man. Jake has been a friend, a fan, supporter, and a brother for years. Recently had surgery, and he is laid up, and I hope that whore is watching us. And because he would call us whores in a message immediately. You know it. I know it. You know he can't be a whore though, because he gets his whole lower back's together. So if he tried to get some pussy, it would just destroy him. Like,
you're telling me that he could not walk the runway right now. Just throwing that out there. If he had back surgery and previously had also broken his ankle the way that I did, you're telling me that he cannot presently walk the runway.
I am gonna just go ahead and you know what? Just gonna go ahead and
Bitch, what? Oh my God.
Already y'all starting. Oh, anyway, listen. I want to talk about that out the gate so bad now. Look, let's get it out the way. Mr. Winston A. Marshall.
My nigga.
A nigga moment.
Man.
Nigga.
My nigga.
What you been doing?
Speed watching the American Next Top fucking documentary because this nigga was like, he was like, yeah, we gotta talk about the documentary. I was like, I haven't seen it. He goes, I have. I'll do it by myself. And I was like, when is that ever been a thing on the show, nigga? I need
Doesn't fucking matter. I could have made it happen. You didn't believe in me. I'm sorry,
I didn't believe in you. And also, this isn't the Jay Washington show. It's Blerds in the Hood, which means that we both need to be at least somewhat versed on whatever the fuck is going on. So I sped watched the whole thing, and thank God I did, because what the fuck? I'm good, man. I had a great time with the stream. I did not necessarily enjoy that hangover the next morning. It wasn't like the worst hangover I've ever been through, but I will tell pretty much everybody out there, maybe avoid BBCs. And by that,
hey, hold on. Hey, Matt, bring me in for a second. Hold on. Hey,
Buzzball, Cutwater cocktails.
Because, Matt, listen, it's going to get clipped out the wrong way. Ladies, do not avoid BBCs by any script.
I clarified immediately.
Yeah, I know you did, but I want to make sure I jump in immediately before somebody clips it out the wrong.
I hope you understand. I'm just like soccer. I am taking all my time.
Hey, listen, let me tell you something. See, this is what I'm talking about.
I am 1,000% going to reclaim my time during your nigga what you've been doing. I'm gonna be out here looking like Maxine Water, reclaiming my time. I'm gonna fucking do it, Jay. I swear to God. But overall, I've been good. I had a crazy day at work because we have a client that we work with that did 6 figures of business, so it was up to me to take care of it because nobody else was working today. So that was fun, especially because then other people at work tried to be like, hey, I need you. I said, you need me to do what I'm doing, get the fuck out my face and leave me alone. And my bosses at a certain point started telling people, yeah, don't bother Alex. Just let him do what he's doing. Don't harass him. But that's it on that front. It had been a minute since I had gotten my full week-long workout regimen in. I did that last week, which was great. I took care of that before we started the stream because that would have been real shitty. And then other than that, man, I'm just enjoying the rest of Black History Month. I don't know why we keep releasing media tearing Black folk down during Black History Month. This could have easily dropped next month. It did not need to drop. That's Women's History Month. This could have easily dropped during April. I don't know.
I should. Nope. You
yep. No. Go ahead. Go ahead. What, Jay?
Nope. I'm gonna wait.
No. I want to hear what you have to say.
I'm gonna wait. I feel like I'm gonna wait because you gonna reclaim your time during me, and I feel like there's a lot I need to say, but I'm gonna wait.
That's fair.
Take me off the screen.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. I'll get you out of here. So, I think the last thing I've got. I had a number of auditions, which is good that things are picking back up. So I turned one in a couple days ago. I have another one that I really should have done already. There's no clock on this one. It's for a hosting gig. And I should have done it already. So as soon as the show is over, that's actually what I'm going to be doing with my night. So worst case scenario, y'all, if y'all feel so blessed to send in donations, if we start taking hella shots tonight, don't be surprised if I stop and then I make it up to you either in a recorded video of me doing them in a row or going live and doing it or something, just because I need to keep my wits about me to be able to take care of this audition tonight. But other than that, man, that's pretty much all that's going on with me. So, I just got to go ahead and ask the same question. Mr. Jay Washington.
My nigga.
A nigga moment.
My nigga. What you been doing?
Is it just for the same thing? Is it for the same company?
Probably.
3 letters?
Nigga, why would you even go that route? Yes.
I did mine yesterday. Anyway.
Like, literally, the funny thing is, now you've kind of alluded to it, my nigga. You could have just said, you know what? You could have texted me. You could have just like,
hey, remember what you did on Sunday when you got super drunk? Huh? Yeah, that was one of the things.
I don't. I remember how I remember how somebody that wasn't super drunk was running his mouth, but that's not important.
Who, me?
I'm not going to talk about it. I don't need to bring it back up again.
What'd I do?
Cross-eyed crying down your back, fat foot ass bitch. Long titty, no nipple having ass bitch.
What I do?
You did nothing. You can go. You can go. It wasn't about you. I said someone that wasn't drunk. You were drunk the whole show, more or less.
Oh, okay. I'd like to address the Twitch comment earlier.
Yes, you big back ass bitch. Yes, you. The North. See, you really can't talk, Winston. The North remembers.
I don't know what's happening. I'm sitting there around this motherfucker lost, okay? And I got a clock on me right now, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck happened.
I told you I was going to reclaim my time. You're good now. I got about everything I needed.
Okay, all right, you're welcome. Okay. Fucking tracks. I'd like to acknowledge the Twitch comment from earlier. Hope you do like BBCs. God bless you. In Jesus' name. Even the drinks too. I mean, but that should not be a thing. Yeah, man. I had a couple auditions as well. I've been doing that. Yesterday was Lunar New Year, and I got a chance to spend it with my homegirl Dulce Sloan from The Daily Show and our homegirl Kim the Money, and I got to learn how to play mahjong, and it was so fucking fun. But also, what I've learned is that you dropped a super fucking spoiler about a new season. Read it, goddamn NDA, Winston.
He had already done it himself, and then
no, he didn't. No,
else, one of the producers did it as well at a certain point, and then on top of that, again, I wasn't even coming at you
on your damn motherfucking business.
I'm saying another big backed individual that is a part of this crew happened to run his mouth about something that I have not been talking about. So there's
first of all, also, by the way, my back is only big from lifting now. Thank you. My back isn't spread.
It may be a muscly big back, but it is a big back.
Big back, big back. Big back, big back. Why am I frozen like this? I hate it. I hate it. Big back, big back. No, the reason I brought up
we're gonna talk about Jesse in a minute, bro. That's from the
reason I brought up the Lunar New Year is because again, this is the year of the fire horse, and it is supposed to be a year of prosperity, good luck, and good fortune, and things like that, as well as the last year of the fire horse. The one thing that was significant about it, there was a lot of turmoil and conflict throughout the world, I found out. So I'm like, oh shit. So anyway, also yesterday and today overlap. You can bring him in because I think that I don't really have too much I want to say without going through a whole thing. Yesterday and today overlapped with so much. Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, Ash Wednesday, the first day of Ramadan, Lunar New Year. It was like 3-4 other things that were all yesterday as well as today. And so it's like, again, crazy. What else did I want to say? I got that out. I said the thing about the whore with the stitches in his back. So he can, we can acknowledge him. The whore's here. Everyone, highlight the whore. Where's the goddamn mouth? Hello, whore. We're hoping you're better, whore.
I heard you ain't got no legs or a back.
Hey, Lieutenant Dan, they say you ain't got no legs. They say all you can do is finger fuck right now, and even that's painful.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, for those who would like to support the show as always, and those who would like to support what we're doing, streamlabs.com/blerds-in-the-hood/tip. Streamlabs.com/blerds-in-the-hood/tip. If you want, you can send it as well to our Cash Apps and Venmos, respectively. It is our individual names down there. I don't know if any of these fucking assets are in here. I'm going to just say this off the gate. So whenever I go to this story, because the first story is what we said we were just going to talk about. So story number 1 is now about to be what we started about with in the beginning of the show, to our producer who should be paying the fuck attention. Hopefully he caught on. Yes, he did. Look at that big back boy work. Call that nigga BBB.
Fuck you, and fuck you. Who's next?
Wait a minute. So wait, is BBC for mass stand for big back cracker?
I said,
fuck you, and fuck you. Who's next?
It would be BBHC, big back half cracker. That was too dark of a man for you to use.
No, BBRC, big back Ritz.
Can you shut the fuck up?
So let's get into it though. The reality check inside America's Next Top Model documentary dropped on Netflix over the weekend, and oh my God. Listen, they talked with Tyra Banks, of course. They talked with Miss J. They talked with Jay Manuel. They spoke with Nigel Barker. Every last one of them. And you just hear, and even so many contestants and winners from the show. And I think when you hear everything, it all boils down to it. Tyra Banks is crazy. Tyra Banks is a villain. But in her mind, I think this what makes her a villain, because in her mind, nothing she did was wrong. And of course, the show being reality TV, it was chasing ratings. So it's why it put the girls through such a ringer of a strenuous events to try to prove you could be a model. But a lot of the shit they had to do had nothing to do with modeling.
I mean, that was the thing, is that the first they mentioned that in the series, that like the first, and I guess instead of seasons they called them cycles. The first 2 cycles, it was really more focused about modeling, but then they were like, there was the show Fear Factor, and Survivor was a thing. So we were noticing that if we just put them in weird situations, like that would help drive up ratings and whatnot. Like doing full race swap fucking modeling sessions.
The race swap was probably the wildest shit I remember. So here's the thing. I remember watching this show when it was happening.
Used to watch the show. I was going to ask you that. I never watched it. So I know very little. Like even seeing like Miss J, I had seen that face before, didn't know their name, didn't know like what they were famous for or anything else like that. I just knew that they were something to do with reality TV. And now I understand that Miss J is, I guess, one of the OG judges.
Well, not only Miss J the OG judge, they were the runway walk consultant, because the thing was, the girls, for the most part, had zero modeling experience, right?
Right.
None of them were. They believe they could be models. None had ever been in shoots or runway shows, et cetera, et cetera. So one of the biggest things was to be able to walk the runway, and Miss J taught them to walk the runway, and that was what Miss J's specialty was. But it got crazy when you brought in Janice Dickinson, telling no girls like Giselle she got a wide ass, and if you look, let me just keep it a buck.
It was
Giselle's ass wasn't wide.
But that's what I will say, is this doesn't make it correct at all. This is where it actually makes Tyra again more of the villain. That unfortunately was just the modeling world. Like, I don't think any of the, like, the fucked up part is that comment itself is not far off base from just how modeling works. But what you would have expected from Tyra, who dealt with racism, who dealt with fat shaming, who dealt with it to the nth degree and got to the top of the food chain, that she would have put a stop to some of this shit instead of encouraging this shit.
So I found this out. I was doing a little bit more research, and I was talking to a couple of friends of mine who knew about the modeling element and everything of the sorts. So when Tyra started out, Tyra was super young, right? Mm-hmm. And she became a supermodel, et cetera, et cetera. The problem was she was so young, she hadn't finished filling into her body. So she hit a point where I heard women say to themselves, and girls, do your hips hurt? Your hips are spreading because you're still growing. She flushed out. So the tiny Tyra she had to be reinvented as a different type of model because she filled out with breast and hips and stuff like that. And so she was always putting this pressure on the girls, if you watch the doc, to be your waist had to be this thing. Now, ladies, listen, I have field slave hands. So I want you to understand that this circle is that of a plantation. Now, that is probably the wildest analogy I've ever.
That's an insane comment, but whatever helps you get along at night, sir.
But she would have them do these things. Dude, the black girl Danny that had a gap, they were trying to get her to close her gap.
Which she wouldn't do it. Then they kind of said, do it or you're gone. Then she does it. Then the next cycle, you get another bitch go, we're going to give you a gap, girl.
We're going to widen your gap. Like, that is insane to me. And it also goes to show the levels of which people, that was crazy. That's crazy to say when I said the plan. I know they were from the description, Big Miss 03. Okay. But it's the levels of which people will do for success and fame. And I know we're talking about it within the documentary, right? But I don't know how much you've seen it, but I know I've seen it when it comes to both the stand-up world as well as the acting world.
Yep.
People
will do anything. I mean, look, I actually, we don't have to go fully into it, but it connects this piece of shit Asian comedian that I guess is a working small town comedian, but it was on Kill Tony and does all these really racist ass black jokes.
Hans Kim, you're talking about? Oh, nigga, let hold on.
Like we're still let's stay in the world of America's Got Talent. This relates based off of what you just said, that anything people will do for fucking fame. Because I heard some of his really stupid ass jokes, including like, I think like they're not going after blacks enough. They should be going after blacks. How are you gonna have a black Little Mermaid when black people can't swim? Like the laziest fucking jokes I've ever heard in my life, bro.
Well, that's what. So first and foremost, there are a lot of people who will say that comedians should never speak out against Kill Tony because of what it has done for several people's careers, and I will acknowledge that. Cam Patterson is a great friend of mine. I've watched Cam come up. I watched Cam actually hit these stages and work to get to the point where he is, SNL and otherwise. Okay, cool. I've seen other people come through that system. The problem is they don't work. Kill Tony is a glorified open fucking mic. It just so happens humanity loves a train wreck. We will never openly admit that. Humanity loves a train wreck. And so if you're not funny to someone who's not fucking funny, he and his panelists will humiliate you, and people love to hear that. And also, if you're going up for a minute, yeah, you can make people laugh in a minute, but when you start becoming a headliner, and because of this rocket to success you get, you go on the road and you're headlining, and you're expected to do between 45 minutes to an hour of material, 45 minutes to an hour of jokes. I am saying it several different ways because a lot of these people do not have that. And I understand there are certain people who have developed these fan bases who are like, well, I just want to see him talk to the crowd all day. The problem is with that is that people start to believe that is all what stand-up comedy is, or bringing people on stage for a segment of the show, et cetera, et cetera. That is not what it is. But going back to Hans Kim, for example, you got a lot of these motherfuckers, especially when they're in Austin, Texas, following up under Rogan, who, because it's Texas, they're like, oh, we can't tell jokes. What about free speech? No, you're just being racist and hacky as fuck. But they'll do those things like you said, to become successful because of the environment in which it's in. Kill Tony primarily tapes the mothership, which is Joe Rogan's club in Austin. And again, Rogan's club supposed to be this bastion of free speech and all this other stuff, this, that, and the third. So it's basically just, oh, I can say whatever I want, whatever slurs I want, whatever. I'm telling the joke, it's funny, and blah, 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 blah. And the problem is, and I'll even go back to the 90s real quick. The 90s had comedians who would do slurs or whatever, and some were hacky, but for the most part, a lot of them had a joke with it too. And granted, we would say the joke may not have aged, but it was a joke. A lot of these motherfuckers are just saying racist shit to say racist shit. And if you're unfamiliar with what Winston is talking about, there's a clip of Hans going around right now where he literally says, and I'll quote it for you a little bit better. ISIS, they're grabbing minorities, but they're not grabbing the right ones. They're not grabbing black people. I thought we were supposed to be getting crime down. And you hear some motherfuckers in the crowd, because of course, racist motherfuckers love to hear this stupid shit. So those are the main ones that'll co-sign and go for it. But then you got other people who...
I was just going to say the interesting part is seeing the black people on the panel, either in the band or some of the other comics that are there, just like clearly you look at their eyes and they're like, I will pop this Asian boy in the fucking mouth. Like they're clearly annoyed by it, but they don't say anything, you know?
And Spidey Sensei, if you can highlight this comment for me, one of you guys, Spidey Sensei 72 says, I just found out that Hans Kim makes $300K a year on those whack ass jokes. And here's the problem. He absolutely does. If you wonder why I always say when I'm on the show, please follow, tell people to follow us. It is all about social media numbers. It is literally because of that podcast. It shot up his numbers. The industry sees the numbers, does not look at the talent. The industry says, all right, cool. And because again, the podcast, and I will not discredit this, that it does get people out. It does. But at the same time, you have to ask yourself, do I want a fan base full of fucking racists? I don't. This has nothing to do with whatever somebody's gonna say being woke or shit like that. I've cultivated a 17-year stand-up career of busting my ass, developing material, telling jokes from bars to the most bullshit of crowds. But that's that. So when you get to these models who are doing these things, I know some models who are absolutely stunning, who may feel who the industry is either looked at, they're trying to get the industry to notice them. And I would never want to have to see them go through the bullshit the girls went through on America's Next Top Model. I apologize immensely for that rant. I truly do. So please forgive me for that.
To apologize, man. I mean, I brought it up for a reason. Like, again, I think that the two things that this did, and I think what? Fucking shit.
I mean, you can't be racist with no spine. Anyway.
Well, that's the problem. Racists have no spine. So
yeah, that's true.
If anything, now would be now's your moment, Jake. So what a fucking sentence. No, I mean, I think the thing that we saw, and this is just another example. Did you see last year the documentary on The Biggest Loser? I
just started fucking watching it last night.
After seeing this, you decided to continue on to that, huh? And so you get to see. It is absolutely fascinating because, again, I think what the true lesson is out of most of this, a vast majority of the things that we love, they are polished turds. Like they're a scenario where when you get down to the core of how this was allowed to exist in the first place, so much bullshit had to happen and was happening behind the scenes. So for example, in this documentary at one point, I think the most appalling thing by far, and it was done early, I want to say in episode 1, was the girl Shandi, whatever her name was, which is this very mild-mannered girl from
the girl that cheated on her boyfriend,
who was worked at Walgreens, and they did the big makeover to make her better, and then she's the front runner to win, and then they have some dudes over, and she ends up way too wasted, and somebody should have stopped it, but she essentially got raped by one of these like moped drivers that was driving these girls around. And instead of at any point going, she is really drunk, we should put a stop to this, they're like, including them even admitting at one point when she went to the bathroom, they said if someone goes to the bathroom by themselves,
right,
the cameras are not allowed to roll. Because she drunkenly walked in there with this dude, they literally taped her getting assaulted by this dude the entire time. And the only reason that they didn't put more of this on the show was because Janet Jackson's titty popped out, and then all of a sudden,
yeah, look, yo, I think that was, and I please forgive the laugh. That was the crazy part when they were like, and then the Super Bowl happens, and there's new rules, and you're like, oh, so if Janet Jackson and a pasty doesn't happen, you show every. So the reason I said cheating because that's how she looked at it, and she was broken.
Yes, but like that's the thing. Everybody at this point, including herself, and now she's openly like said that too. But like she said that in the documentary at first, all she thought was, like, "Oh my God, I was so wasted, I cheated," and that was how it was presented. But she kept saying when she was describing it, she was like, "No, I remember getting in the hot tub, and then I remember."
She was 2 bottles of wine,
but then that was it, and I was gone, and I don't remember anything. I knew sex was happening, but I did not like ask her, invite it on, like everything that was going on there. And so the idea on top of that this network just essentially let that happen and just whatever.
What year? I forgot to check. Was it 2000?
That happened? That would have been about 2002, 2003, if I'm not mistaken. Because I'm trying to remember Janet Jackson Super Bowl. I want to say that was 2000 and it was the 2003, 2004 season, so it was the 2004.
Okay, 2004. Mm-hmm. So we're at the turn of the reason I'm looking at it because on top of that, I'm thinking about all the other programming, and I'm thinking outside of Fear Factor, Survivor. It's when you're getting this young, like the American Pie era, right behind that.
The start of The Bachelor, like that too.
Yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, The Bachelor started. It was going to start in 2001. Then 9/11 happened, so it got postponed. The reason why I know that is our former manager was a producer on the show for a long time. And so she was like, I was able to buy my house because we were supposed to start shooting. And then 9/11. So they just had me on retainer for like a year. She made a lot of money to not make a show for a period of time. Like she ultimately then did do her job, but that's all, so.
We just was told by our producer that they checked out to see that the episodes are available. Watch that episode with Shandi when they go to Italy is available, but the race swap episode isn't.
Well, because remember there was a massive push that there was a community episode that wasn't even a blackface scenario. I don't know if you remember the D&D episode. That was because Chang decided to make himself a dark elf, and so like the NBC got rid of that. There's an episode of blackface where Jenna gets in a lot of trouble for doing it. They got rid of that off of 30 Rock. There was a massive just like get rid of all of that shit that happened a couple years ago.
I want to read one of the Streamlabs that came in from one of our by the way, streamlabs.com/blerdsinthehood/tip. This came in from one of our mods, Amber. So she said, did the ANTM doc cover how multiple girls were permanently scarred? The girl holding ice cream in one hand for too big for too long in earlier season, another falling on a rickety runway and a scar on the leg.
They showed one of the models on the runway and a pendulum hits her, and then people get hit by the pendulum. But that was the only thing they kind of showed in that regard. But yeah,
and you know what really interested me about that whole thing too, when it was all said and done, how one of the last questions the producers asked the girls, if you could do it all over again, would you? And it was really interesting to me to see some of them pause to think about it. You get what I'm saying? Because, like, for some, you would think the answer would automatically been no. Because you hear Danny talk about now how she gets to be Danielle and all of these different things, and how, even going there and having, different things in the life. And it's like, some of them are like, damn, would I? It's always, you get what I'm coming from?
I get it. It's rough because like there's like two kind of things behind it. There's that weird element that we all kind of have a little bit, like looking at Flashpoint, like that storyline with the Flash, looking at Into the Spider-Verse and all that. There's the idea of the canon event. So like, if you didn't go through this stuff in one form or fashion, are you still yourself? So
right.
Like there's an interesting thing that kind of goes on there about the idea of, and a lot of people don't properly get the therapy to go through stuff of not letting your trauma go in certain ways. It's why I really liked that quote from last year. I can't remember who said it, but the idea of trauma is not your fault, but healing is your responsibility. So the idea, and I'll tell you, that's what it felt like at times with Tyra. I think where I was the most disappointed was the fact that, like, think about all of the racism and all of the fat shaming and all of the shit that she went through. And yet you found a way to essentially reintroduce that to the ladies coming after you that you were trying to uplift. In certain ways, we saw how you were trying to help people, but in other ways, you reiterated shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? The number of times she wanted to say no to things, and then she forced people essentially to do shit.
Well, I think that is the qualms you start to deal with when you become an executive producer. Now, when you start having more say so as to what are we going to do to get more and more people entertained? Because once you open Pandora's box, let's be real. Once you open Pandora's box, you cannot close. So once you started doing these wild things one time, and you see that the viewing public is gravitating toward that, and when you're going in these social chat rooms and stuff like that, and this is what people are talking about, you now know every episode has to have that or higher, right? You set a bar for yourself. And I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, you've gone through so much shit, like, but that you have that issue again in a lot of forms of entertainment where that one person who now is the proverbial gatekeeper, they went through so much shit, right? They went through so much to get to the point where they are in their career, where they can open the door for people, and instead of just giving them a quote unquote easier path, they make them like, no, if I had to go through stuff, you need to go through it too. And I don't think that always should be the thing.
I agree. I mean, including the fact that like they would intentionally take bad photos because that was more interesting to like rip them to shreds, even if they did it or what's her name to just be a straight biggity back bitch, bro, just running her fucking mouth. The white lady that was always in the worst.
Janice Dickinson.
Yes.
Janice Dickinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That heinous hoe, bro. Like I don't, like I said.
Damn, say it again.
That heinous hoe. The alliteration of it all. Look, I don't know her. I didn't watch the show, but I saw enough of like, oh, you're that one. Oh, fuck you, bitch. Like that was essentially the conversation the whole time.
But the thing was, she was like that. She was the more outward. See, again, you needed to have a direct villain on the show, right? Mm-hmm. Because that was the dichotomy of things. You needed a definitive villain. You needed the straight man. And I'm not using the term straight as far as sexuality. You needed the straight man, which Jay Manuel was, because Jay Manuel's job was to, I got to get you ready for this. If you're not doing right in a photo shoot, let me guide you the way I need to guide you. Miss J was, well, I'm here to teach you one thing. And if you can't get it, then I don't know what to do with you. And Tyra is the host, right? Nigel is there to be eye candy. And that was it. And he even says, it's like, yo, I do my job, but I'm here to be eye candy. And you had these characters, because again, I think Danny says it later on. People forgot after a while, and this is the truth, with any reality competition, no matter what it is a television show first. It is a television show first.
That's what it is. I think the biggest takeaway from this, you should finish The Biggest Loser documentary. If you want to talk about that next week, like I'd watched that a while ago. It just goes to show that for all of us that love TV and movies and music. So many industries are corrupt, but we really need to keep it a buck about how dirty and grimy Hollywood truly is. That
because you play off of hopes and dreams. Again, any industry that does that. Not to cut you off, but I just wanted to interject that.
No, absolutely, and but it's also from the standpoint. It's why I know so many, like where you see so many people try stand up, especially in LA, and burn the fuck out so quickly, is because of all of those bookers that do all those bringer shows, and then and they know that they'll ride Bob as long as he's willing to keep bringing those people. But as soon as Bob burns out, there's a Sandra who is also ready to do the same shit, and you just replace them in an endless cycle of people that will like try to do the thing. You know what I mean? And that is just an example in that realm. But all of Hollywood, there is something. It's like, if you won't do it, somebody else will. And that's even where that conversation of you need to close your gap. Well, bitch, if you don't want to close your gap and you just want to leave, somebody else is willing to take your spot.
There's a part I saw on the Biggest Loser doc where the one girl, Tracy, I believe her name was, she was asking to see a lawyer to read the contract, and they were like, we can give you a lawyer, but it's 10 motherfuckers waiting to replace you.
I can open the door and just let somebody else do it. And the fact that has happened in both of these docs where they said, I tried to talk to a lawyer, I wanted to whatever, and they said, you have 30 minutes. Figure that shit out right now. You don't get to do that. And that's the thing. It's the same exploitative type scenario. Now, again, this is not unique to Hollywood. There are plenty of people in the corporate sphere where it's the same thing. The pressures, like the whole reason Me Too became a thing in the first place, is because of women being like, if not direct sexual harassment, sexual assault, rape, all that kind of stuff, there would be stories of like, I felt like if I didn't flirt with the client, that I was going to be fired. If I didn't play nice to the boss, I was going to be like fired or whatever the fuck. Every time you would hear a lot of those stories, some of them would be the absolute worst, and some of it would just be that coercion, which is also fucking awful because you were playing off of people and their fear of getting in trouble, of losing their dreams, of losing their job or their livelihood, etc. So we just darkest timeline, man.
I want to bring this up real quick that our producer brought up. If you also, because we didn't mention this, we saw in the documentary how once they were eliminated, they didn't go home immediately.
But that's kind of standard though for a lot of these reality.
Yeah, because you got to wait till production is done.
So like The Bachelor's the same thing. When they get sent home, they get sent to the hotel that they have to sit in until taping is done. So like
you just like,
yeah. Yeah, but that's a pretty standard BS thing to do. And you know what? All of them. Hell's Kitchen. I love Hell's Kitchen. I've heard no bad things about that production, but it's the same thing. Once you get eliminated, you're stuck. You just got to wait.
You just stuck. Yeah. All right. Well, streamlabs.com/blerdsinthehood/tip. Streamlabs.com/blerdsinthehood/tip if you want to support, of course. We got another one that came in from the Ryan Cross Project. Thank you so much. Says laid up in the hospital at the moment with an AFib heartbeat. Yo,
oh my God.
Yo, hope you all the strength and prayers to you, man. Like, yo, like you gotta, man. Enough about me. I'm really proud of Rissa for holding it down at work and not eating the same goddamn burrito that took him 2 hours plus to finish one burrito. Jay, you quote unquote prayed and snored midstream, my guy. Did I?
You were at one point you started praying and you did temporarily fall asleep for like 2 or 3 seconds, bro. You had oh Jesus, we just want amen. Like we were like, nigga, what?
Bro, let me tell you something. I remember none of that. No, Jay, we got to get you an audition for season 3 of what? Oh, Beast Games. Let me tell you something. I don't want to be. That is just as exploitative as anything else. I feel like
there's no way in hell I would ever do it because they told me what was going on. There's already lawsuits going on about them not feeding people, about people getting injured. All the same bullshit you've heard from every reality TV show. I have already heard of people doing.
Yeah, I've heard people getting fucked up
because of NDA shit, but they are pissed and they are going after them for that shit.
Yeah, I'm good on that. Let me tell you something again. What I would love for my career, and I'm thinking what I see for my career is that I finally get the opportunity to tape a Don't Tell comedy set because those are like the new late night sets. that I get asked to finally do Comics Unleashed, just so I can be a part of that conversation. Then I get to take a few more things, and you know, when all the like Netflix 15s come around again, and maybe one of these, you know, big agencies that are representing all these people, big agencies or management companies.
Okay, that's what you said. Oh my God.
What did you think I said?
You cut out a little bit for a second. It's like, so then when I do that, then I can get one of these big Asians. I was like, big Asians to do what, nigga? Like what?
Emotional, damn.
I was just confused. I was like, where is he going with this?
Hey man, listen, to make my career elevate, I feel like I need a big Asian. What? What does that even sound like?
I was like, maybe you're gonna sumo wrestle. I don't.
No, I mean it's just that I know what, you know. I've done so much in my career, and I literally have sat back a couple of times and was like, damn, if I'd done this thing or hung with those people or done or went down this path or whatever the case may be, maybe I'd be further along than where I am. And you know, if it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. But I also don't take for granted the career that I do have, what I have accomplished. You know, I've done a lot. In the 16, 17 years. I've done a lot, and I'm still doing shit. So yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing I think with this industry is two things. It's hard work, and it's three things. It's hard work, it's connections, and then it's consistency. It's like a war of attrition. So at the end of the day, as long as you're continuing to do good, hard work, you're continuing to expand out your network, over time it will just happen. It just takes time. Sometimes some people it happens a little faster, and some people it happens a little later. But that's it. You just got to stay the course, man. But
I like some people heard big Asians too. Okay, cool.
They also heard that. Yeah, low key, I heard big Asians. I was like, hey man, look, find you a nice Japanese girl with some titties and some ice, and you just be good to go, bro. Streamlabs.com/blerds-in-the-hood/tip. Streamlabs.com/blerds-in-the-hood/tip. If you'd like to comment or support the show, we appreciate it. You can also do the Venmo or the Cash App. It is our respective handles, as you see in the banner down below. But let's keep it popping and moving on to our next story, man.
Jesse Jackson died. We sorry to hear that. Move on.
Damn, nigga.
Nope, he don't.
He died peacefully on Tuesday, was surrounded by his family. He was 84 and suffered from aggressive supranuclear palsy, a rare disease that causes decline similar to Parkinson's disease, but accelerated. I mean, he's obviously known as the first kind of legitimate, like, black candidate for president, where he was in the Democratic primary. Obviously did not get the nomination because the first nomination ended up going to Obama. But huge in that. I mean, really kind of picked up where Martin and Malcolm kind of left off in the late 70s and early 80s and whatnot. Was known for his kind of like preaching, rhyming style and all that shit. I mean, clearly he doesn't want to talk about Jesse Jackson. I was just going to talk
because I'm from Chicago. I know about, you know, the Operation Push, and I know about what it did for a lot of neighborhoods, but I also know about who the person is. You know, granted, yes, he was a civil rights icon. I do respect that. Yes, I do know that literally because of him and Shirley Chisholm, many black candidates and many black politicians we have today they are in office because of what he set forth. But you look behind the scenes, and not even just I want to cut Obama's nuts off, and it's a bunch of other shit.
Forgot about that, bro. Forgot about that, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut that nigga's nuts off. You know, it's just a lot of other shit with Jesse Jackson, man. It's like, come on, bro. You cannot. Yes, it's sad he passed away, but your legacy is not one of a beautiful thing.
No, it's not. But I think that this would be my question. I don't think that you deny the totality of who a person was. Are you telling me that all the stuff you know about him behind the scenes outweighs the good that he had?
It's hard to look at. I think it's one of those people where it's hard to look at them just as this positive role model. Not a role model. Role model was the wrong term. Sorry. Look at it all in the positive light, I will say. You know, again, here, go ahead. I'm sorry. You know, it doesn't balance it for me.
I feel you. Because I do think, again, I don't think anybody is one particular thing unless that became the core of who you were. You know what I'm
But
saying?
you also notice
Like,
the way news outlets and everyone actually acknowledged his passing. They gave him his moment, and then we moved on. You notice that when many other civil rights icons and things like that are passed, it's a very strong talking point for the entire day. If you pay the way legacy media and otherwise covered it, it was all right, Jesse Jackson passed. It's been a part of history. We got to talk about it. Cool. Now we move on.
I mean, and that's 100% fair. I guess it was just like I said, it's at the end of the day, even kind of what we've been told about, what a potential afterlife looks like. It's the math of like, were you a better person than you were a bad one?
Right.
And that is why I was just so surprised with how quick you're like, move on. I was like, wait, really? But again, I will say this much. I don't know enough about Jesse to speak on it. I know the highlight moments. I now remember the nuts cut off thing, which I remember being furious and being like, well, fuck this old ass nigga. But other than that, I don't really know anything else, any other scandals and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like and so that's just why that was there. But thank you for enlightening me. I mean, if there's anything else you want to share.
No, I think that was really it again. Just having the experience. Just having the experience. And this is true. 89 people, we got people viewing on both. First of all, let us also thank everyone who is watching us over on Twitch, man. We want to continue to grow that over on Twitch. If you are watching us on Twitch, we thank you and we appreciate you very, very much. To all of our new subscribers. If you do have a Prime account, an Amazon Prime account, you do get a free subscription. So go ahead and use that. 43 likes in the words of the hurricane. What's up with that? Shouts out to Shane Helms. Yeah. So again, I it's just, I don't want to come on. You have people, you hear about them, and people are like, man, this person is blah, blah, blah. And you're like, yeah, but do you know that person? Because remember, there's still so much about, again, Hugo Chavez just said it. Him being on the balcony with, if you can highlight that Hugo Chavez comment for me at the bottom, when he was on the balcony with MLK, everybody's like, why were you there? There's always been this question about it. Yeah, it goes back.
Shit. He was there on the balcony.
Yeah, man.
So people are saying in the same way that when Charlie Kirk went out, it looked like his security dude was out here throwing out gang signs right before the shot. There, people are saying the same thing, that Jesse might have something to do with it.
Chasing them hoes, Jesse.
Damn.
But yeah, it's a very, very. Mike Joyce says, what if they were after Jesse instead? I don't think at that time they would be, because Jesse wasn't as prominent. Jesse doesn't rise to prominence the way he does if Dr. King is assassinated.
I am very careful about saying this, but there is a certain individual in the music industry that is also said about them, that they wouldn't exist if Aaliyah didn't die.
Yeah. Oh, bro.
I'm just not.
Aaliyah doesn't die. No. The correlation, if you will. This is not putting look at this. The correlation is, if Aaliyah doesn't die, Beyonce doesn't blow up the way she does. Sierra actually has a bigger career.
You think
Sierra's career actually goes higher? Huh?
Why do you think Sierra's career goes up?
Sierra's career, because her and Aaliyah were the same. That's why, again, Trey Songz doesn't have a massive blow up if Chris Brown doesn't go to jail.
Trey Songz is also a dude,
and he got his own shit.
I mean, I've talked that story before. You know that, like, I've told that story where I was bartending at iPick, and we had one of our waitresses, one of our cocktail waitresses. He demanded that she just help them, so she came off all her tables. We covered all the rest of her tables. He kept ordering all this shit, a bunch of Dom P, all this stuff. Had like a $5,000 bill. grabbing her ass and making all sorts of comments while being there with 2 women and all this other stuff. And then he left. He left like $5 as a tip on a $5,000 tab. And she literally spent 3 of her 4 hours of her shift working that. So she was bawling her eyes out, understandably having to deal with his harassment the whole time. And then we all just pitched in and gave part of our tips to her to try and counteract that shit. But yeah, no, I don't fuck with Trey Songz, bro.
Yeah, man, it's a literally it's a lot of people. You know, the whole Kiki Palmer said a lot about him when she brought that up. It's always weird because his shit comes back out, he disappears for a minute, lets it die down, then comes back out again. It literally is that's literally with Trey, you know. But streamlabs.com/blerdsinthehood/tip. Streamlabs.com/blerdsinthehood/tip. We thank everybody that is watching us right now. All right. There's been 2 fights that were announced this weekend. Neither one anyone wants. Neither one. Okay?
I mean, it's not that I don't want it right now. You're just like a solid decade too late.
That's what I mean. That's why I say it. Neither one anyone wants, because again, it's a decade way too. Ronda Rousey is going to fight Gina Carano, who, again, because her winning her lawsuit with Disney, blah, 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 everybody thinks she's so vindicated, and this is going to be her comeback. I don't think anyone gives a shit. Ronda Rousey needs to do something after she really showed her ass in WWE, and they offered her every courtesy that it was possible. If I could tell y'all so much behind the scenes, how much Ronda was a nightmare, you would blow your mind. And then...
Well, I hold on. So just to know about how that's going, Most Valuable Promotions and Netflix announced it. It'll be on the streaming platform held on May 16th. It's been since 2009 since Gina Carano was fought. Ronda Rousey, it's been a decade. And they are both going to be fighting under the unified rules of MMA. So there's that. And then what Jay was about to get to is Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather, 2 of the greatest to ever do it, but both very retired because of how old they are, and just in terms of boxing, are going to fight each other. And they were different classes, which is the other reason why this is kind of wild. Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mike Tyson have agreed to an unofficial bout in the Congo on April 25th. Tyson, who's 59, just fought Jake Paul in November of 24, which resulted in loss by unanimous decision. Mayweather, 48, had his last fight in August of 24 against John Gotti III in Mexico City. Their fight would come nearly 52 years after the first ever boxing match was organized in Africa, which was the Rumble in the Jungle, featuring Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, which was on October 30th of 1974. In theory, I'm not opposed to this. They're just too old to do this. I would have loved to have seen a 40-year-old Mayweather and like a 50-year-old fucking Tyson, or 51-year-old Tyson. A whole decade changes everything. You know what I'm saying?
After watching the menagerie, the farce, the spectacle that was him versus Jake Paul, and after watching the menagerie, the spectacle, the farce, that was Mike Tyson's ass cheeks on Netflix. On ever, it was. Tyson's cheeks on Netflix was the thing. Everybody, hey, yo, why can't the stream not work here? Exhibition fights, non-official, but what's the point? Yeah. Like, I mean, again, Mayweather's a money dude. We know this. Mayweather will make anything happen if it'll give him a big ass payday. Tyson is at that point now too. But we know that's Mayweather's legacy more so than anything. Tyson's legacy has not been that, but I guess we're seeing that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
No, I understand.
Because it's like, what we don't. Okay, you're fighting. Yes, the people in the Congo are going to go fucking bananas. Mm-hmm. They're going to go. That probably was not the right statement to say.
What? Maybe I missed it.
I'm so sorry.
Say it again.
I said the people in the Congo are gonna go fucking bananas.
Oh my God.
If you could read one full page of a Harry Potter book, nigga, I'll give $750,000 to whatever charitable organization you want to.
No, that was the wrong one, Matt. There was any number of them. You could have done this.
Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way.
For this.
Nigga.
Either one of those would have been like, really, bro? Are you for serious right now? Oh,
I didn't
say it again. I just didn't hear what he said. I didn't hear what he said. He basically said, no, I won't do it. And he did it anyway. So why is that my fault?
I didn't mean it. I just I realized what I had said when I said, oh no. But they are good. Oh God, because the next line I was about to say was about to be really
No.
They are going. I was about to say, man, they're gonna go ape shit.
And I do it again. Bop, bop. And I do it again. Bop, bop.
You know, he would step across the line. Habitually. He's a habitual line stepper.
You know what? Anything for fame, right, Jay? Anything? Anything for publicity, my nigga? That's what it is. Is this your race swap runway moment? Is that what's happening right now?
Oh man.
Happy Black
Oh, now you can't speak.
Happy Black History Month for real.
Damn. Real quick, I'm gonna give you a moment to recover. We had 2 Streamlabs that come in, one from Jake Icavetta, so it did come in, jackass. And it says, I don't really want to call you all whores because you were so nice to me, but fuck it. You're whores, especially Little Win. And you, sir, are a piece of spaghetti. You just flap it in the wind. Yes,
sir. This nigga spitting. Damn, nigga.
Just a limp noodle, nigga. Just going around looking like a motherfucking serpent, nigga. Just inty ways. And then Haskell came in and he goes, "Sup, fellas? I'm not into MMA as much as I was, but I will watch Ronda versus Gina. I don't know if I ever wanted to see someone get beat to a bloody pulp more than that Sean Strickland after his bigoted, homophobic, misogynistic comments at Bad Bunny and Ronda Gina. I don't know who Sean Strickland is.
Sean Strickland is an MMA fighter who keeps getting the dog shit whooped out of him because his mouth. So he's an openly MAGA dude, right? And he thinks because he's an MMA fighter, he is completely untouchable. Well, he's been getting touched in the cage. They've been bop, 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 bop on his fucking face. And so he keeps talking shit because, again, we're in a day and age, unfortunately, where the more vile, hateful, racist, or bigoted you are, the grift you can go glom to, or that's just you keep this fandom, you get people who keep supporting you, and that's what's happening. And so it's really, really, really a thing. Like, I would love to see that. You know, look, I was so happy to watch Jake Paul get his jaw go side to side like a 3-6 Mafia record from Anthony Joshua, because it was.
Stop it. Get some help.
I thought you were gonna go Ariana for a minute. I've been here all night.
Yeah, but I'm not going to talk about. But I'm not going to talk about that because that's.
You got my jaw side to side.
You know what that song is about?
Yeah, that whole song is about Pete Davidson's dick.
Yes,
and about her getting railed out by Pete Davidson's dick, so
hitting the wall side to side.
I mean, that's kind of what Jake's jaw looked like by the time he was done getting rocked, bro.
Oh, I thought you said about Jake Agavetta. I was like, that's his nigga's back right now. It's this side to side.
Damn, bro. That's. Oh, my Lord. Jake couldn't do that move. He would not be able to do that part of the scene. That would be instant more surgery.
Yeah,
Gotcha, bitch.
So, all right, this is some other news. We got a little bit more sports news right now. The Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks are now officially up for sale. This is kind of wild. Is there a graphic? Probably not. Okay.
You know why this is happening, right?
Well, I'm gonna read it, and then you tell me afterwards.
Sure. Go for it.
So, Is there a graphic, Mr. Producer? No. Get your shit together. This motherfucker's back too big. You couldn't get a graphic. Anyway, so this
Big bag. This out. First of all, you throwing too many big words at me. Okay, now because I don't understand them, I'm gonna take them as disrespect. Watch your mouth and help me with the sale.
Here's the big words.
Big words.
Backamus.
How many big words, nigga?
Fuck you. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
Backamus. Big. Okay. So the estate of Paul G. Allen today announced it has commenced a formal process. The Seattle Seahawks NFL franchise, which is consistent with Allen's directives to eventually sell his sports holdings and direct all estate proceedings to philanthropy. Now, the statement reads as follows. The estate has selected investment bank Allen and Company and law firm Latham & Watkins to lead the sale process, which is estimated to continue throughout the 2026 offseason. NFL owners must then ratify a final purchase agreement. Now, the sale is expected to fetch a record-breaking price for an NFL franchise, topping the $6.05 billion mark, or which is going to go past that, right? That's going to go past that mark, which was set by the Washington Commanders, which were sold in 2023. This is per CBS Sports' Jonathan Jones. Now, ESPN is reporting that the team could sell, forget this, the Seattle Seahawks could sell for between $7 and $8 billion. My nigga, what? Now the interesting thing about this entire scenario, the biggest, most interesting part about this entire scenario, this is the first time that an NFL team has gone up for sale in the wake of not only participating in a Super Bowl, but winning it.
Yes. But this is where, and that initial part that was mentioned, the estate of Paul G. Allen. So he was the owner of the team. He died in 2018. There was a specific directive that by a set amount of time that the actual team was required to be sold. And this is the time frame at which it was that it had to go down. So it's not because all of a sudden the owner, because she's actually pretty cool. I believe it's his sister. It's not because all of a sudden she's just like, oh, we won one and I'm out. Like that raised the stock on it. It literally has been something that's been in the process of happening for a while now. And they've just gotten to it now. Again, this is because that was his wishes in his will. And again, I love the fact that a vast majority of the proceeds are all going to philanthropy, that they're all going to charity when it's all said and done. And that this wasn't meant for him to be a come up for the family or anything else, because they've already, they already have plenty of money. But yeah, no, I think that is, I think also I'm going to point out one of our producers who's still clearly very bitter. He says that's what happens when the NFL scripts your win before the sale. Man, so you're telling me those sacks were all scripted? Because it just looked like Drake May didn't know where to go. That's kind of what that looked like.
That nigga's in the background still salty. That nigga's hurting. Why you got this one give it to the kicker? The kicker is who wants us to get the MVP. That nigga was mad.
In two ways. I say all that to say that I think this is.
I feel like he gonna cut the show off in a minute. He gonna be like, "Oh, you niggas want to keep talking?"
All of a sudden, the show just stops working. I would not. This is why you should have never given no niggas no power, bro.
That is insane. That is insane. Just drop the both of us out of house.
Drop us both out. Bro, don't even bring up nothing like a Shador, because Matt won't take us out. He'll bring himself in. That's what he'll do. He will put himself on stage and just go on a tirade for the next 10 minutes.
So you got to say about Shador Sanders is that he's the greatest thing for Cleveland, and then I love LeBron James. I don't know why I made you sound like an oaf, and I
have no idea why you did that at all. Like, at all. But all that being said, Dwayne says,
I love you, Matthew.
He says, but the price is only that high because of the win, and that helps all the owners. No, that's not that. Yes, it helps. No, that did not script that to do that shit. That's wild. Because if that's the case, then what's to say?
In the script was this nigga
in the NFC Championship game the year before their sale. Stop your nonsense, sir. Stop your nonsense.
So much. Oh
my God.
Hey, listen, guys, to all three of you guys, calm down. Eat a little vagina, you'll be okay.
It was deleted. It was deleted. Who did this? Who did this?
One of you bitches gotta die. Oh, one of you bitches got to go. Oh, one of you bitches got to
nothing
go.
to do with this. Until I could re-edit it out like the way you wanted. I don't have it. I've been too lazy to do that shit. But Jay, holy shit. Oh, it was Matt. Oh, Matt did it. Oh shit. Oh shit. It's about to go down.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Ah shit! No! That is not happening right now! No!
So Paramount. Oh, you! Trying to go to the next store.
He's crying.
Go kill this nigga.
That was definitely breaking case of emergency shit. Matt had that shit on lock, bro.
I'm gonna kill this.
Thank God he lives in Cleveland. Jay don't want to go there.
I have the whole video too.
Yeah, I have the whole video. That's why I'm saying I hadn't recut it. Yeah. Anyways, Paramount is making a push to try and take Warner Brothers yet again. They put another sale offer in on Tuesday.
Yo, I just voted on it today.
Oh, because I forget you have stock.
I have stock in Warner Brothers.
Oh wow! In a Tuesday regulatory filing, Warner said it had received a waiver from Netflix to reopen talks with Paramount for the next 7 days or until Monday. Warner said that this will allow the companies to discuss unresolved deficiencies, and clarify certain terms of Paramount's latest bid. In the meantime, Warner's board is still recommending shareholder support of its proposed merger with Netflix. Special meeting is now scheduled for Friday, March 20th to hold a vote on that deal. So while that was happening, I think these are kind of closely related. We got to talk about how on top of that, and I think this is why this is sort of tied.
Someone just asked me in the chat real quick. They asked, what did I vote on? So the question is, do you vote on the sale to Netflix right now? And here's the thing. You can either be for it, you can either be against it, or you can abstain and just not vote. You keep abstaining. The thing is, Netflix's biggest thing for everybody is hearing what they're going to do with the app, right? We've spoken on this on the show several times. I cannot be for Paramount owning everything, knowing what they're doing with CBS.
So this is why this next story is also relevant.
Yes.
Together. So if you didn't hear, there were 2 instances of the FCC once again getting involved in scenarios dealing with elections. The first with The View. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr said that the agency has an enforcement action underway on ABC's The View after the show featured James Tallarico, a Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate, as a guest. Talk shows had previously operated under the assumption that their interviews are exempt from the equal time rule under a bona fide news exemption. Such things as newscasts and news events coverage have been exempt, and the FCC in the past has confirmed that talk shows also are excluded under that rule. But the FCC under Carr last month issued a guidance warning talk shows like The View, Colbert, and Jimmy Kimmel shouldn't assume that they are exempt when they feature political candidates. Instead, the FCC recommended that those shows consult with the agency on whether that is the case. So the bigger story comes from Colbert, who most of you remember. His show is going off the air with CBS very soon. In May. Colbert kicked off Monday Night's show by almost immediately mentioning Tallarico's absence. He said he was supposed to be here, but we were told in no certain terms by our network's lawyers who called us directly that we could not have him on the broadcast, Colbert said. Then I was told in some uncertain terms that not only could I not have him on, I could not mention me not having him on. And because my network clearly doesn't want us to talk about this, let's talk about this. And then he proceeded to talk about it. and then actually put the interview that had already been taped, put that up on YouTube, which I highly recommend that people go and watch. And then finally, in a follow-up on Tuesday night, Colbert said of the CBS parent company Paramount, "I'm just so surprised that this giant global corporation would not stand up to these bullies." For those that don't remember, Paramount paid out CBS paid out $16 million to Trump as in a settlement over the editing of Kamala Harris's interview that they did during the 2024 election cycle. Again, that's because the Ellisons are doing everything in their power to continue to kiss ass so that they can try and continue to amass power, whether that be buying TikTok and fully running that, or the buying from Skydance of Paramount, and then ultimately trying to now get Warner Brothers.
So Carr recently said that, because again, the exemptions that the View, Colbert, Kim, all, he said, you all are not news, right? This is what the FCC chairman said, right? Now, here's an interesting thing about the equal time rule. Do you know when the equal time rule was actually installed? Back in 2006. Do you know which presidential administration actually put that in place?
Sounds like the Bush.
George Bush's. So, a Republican administration put the framework together in place.
So, hold on. The Radio Act of 1927 is actually where this is based off of, and it had evolved in 2006. But just let's keep it a buck. It had been around for a while because there is something about that I want to bring up. So go ahead.
Yeah. So to act as if this is a new thing, of you have to give it equal time, et cetera, et cetera. The problem is not a single Republican candidate for any of these positions are going to want to go on any of these platforms. Let's just keep it real.
They just need to be offered the time. That's it. It's not that that's the thing that's fucked up about it. It's not about actively showing them both. You have to give them the opportunity to have both of those times. So to that point, one of the things that has been brought up as far as all this goes is it doesn't just apply to broadcast television. It applies to radio. And you know who dominates fucking radio? Right-wing motherfucking pundits. And they have not offered any of this comparative time.
Nope.
Or Crockett or any other Democrat as far as that shit goes. So again, if you just want to see the corruption, as Chris Tucker said in Rush Hour 2, follow the rich white man.
Follow the rich white man.
Every single time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. This is where this ties back into the Paramount Warner Brothers Netflix deal. As we see with Barry Weiss, what Barry Weiss is currently doing with CBS, and how people have just its ratings were already low. Let me say this ahead of time. CBS's ratings were already low before Barry Weiss took over as editor-in-chief. But the fact they have subsequently tanked even further.
Well, the fact that one of the most trusted news programs in the country has been 60 Minutes, which has been one of the few things that has kept CBS News in relevancy, more or less, has become such a joke already, both from they're pulling the ICE detention story, and then seeing people like Anderson Cooper, who I didn't even realize was a part of 60 Minutes. I thought he was just CNN.
I did too.
That he's left. He has decided to leave 60 Minutes. He's done with this shit.
An immense amount of journalists have left the network. There was a big letter, another big letter or something that came out recently. A lot of people are leaving.
Say that again. Sorry, you cut out for a second.
Oh, sorry. A lot of the journalists over there at CBS are leaving. A lot of them.
Yes.
Because again, regardless of they're talking about, again, that this isn't about political ideology. This is about independent journalism and things like that, and being able to tell the truth in an unbiased manner. And because things are not, this administration knows it's fucking up every which way possible. And so it needs to try to control the narrative with the media, which is why you do not want Paramount, which owns CBS, to subsequently own Warner Brothers, which owns CNN. For as much shit as people say about CNN and whatever you may say, the last thing you need is 3 to 4 networks. I'm sorry, I think even more espousing Trump bullshit when we all know the fucking truth. And the problem is why some people are like, well, people don't have to listen to that. Talk about your aunties and your grandmamas and your uncles. Those older relatives that all they watch. I go to the gym damn near every day, and I promise you, on the bikes, on the exercise bikes, there are always older people on the bikes, and the only program they're watching is Fox News.
Unfortunately, I think that's what makes you know the shitty stuff that comes out of Fox News that much more insidious is to know the vice grip that they have on people, and people just kind of laugh that shit off all the time.
So this is a Ryan Cross project said, I've started to realize there are no late night shows on right-leaning stations and their affiliates. Maybe it's because right-wing comedians aren't all that funny, just my opinion. There actually is one. It is Gutfeld on Fox.
You think
and I know this, Greg Gutfeld. And I know this because of a comedian who I'm cool with, Adam Hunter. He is a frequent guest on there, and he's one of the writers of it. There have been many other comedians on there, but again, it's what you expect. It's a bunch of low-hanging fruit type jokes when it comes to things like that. So I think that's the only thing they have. But again, it's also if you want to cultivate that audience, because I look at Adam's comments when he posts something now, and it's literally just, it's never anything about Trump. It used to be, but now it's everything about anybody that's left-leaning, if you will. And the thing is, if you want to cultivate that audience, you cater to them and you pander to them and you keep kissing up to them. And a lot of people will continually do that. And again, that's their choice. I do not get it at all.
Yeah. Well, I gotta ask, did you actually end up seeing the interview?
The Tallarico interview? Mm-hmm. I started watching some of it.
I mean, he really did a great job with it, man. And I think the funny thing is Trump's attempt to try and silence this actually just brought a shit ton of attention, because I believe the interview has 12 million views on YouTube. I literally had no idea that Tallarico was going on Colbert and would not have watched it if it were not for the fact that this went down. The fact that this went down brought it to my attention. I was like, I guess I should watch this.
Also, please be aware of the SAVE Act thing. I'm sorry about my apologies. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What about the SAVE Act?
I think it's made it through the House.
Did it?
I think it has, if I'm not mistaken.
Trump election bill tops 50 Senate votes, but Democrats could still block it. That was a day ago.
Yeah, so it's not past the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
But it is past that. So for those who don't understand about the SAVE Act, this is primarily, more than anything else, to white women. I am going to say this loud and clear. This is for you. They are trying to make it where your only vote in your household comes from your husband to married white women.
It is two particular things. You are going to be hamstringing. You already were hamstringing Black and brown folk by a lot of these counties with all the gerrymandering and everything else, and then taking out all of the different ways in which they could go to polling places to vote. So the lines are incredibly long. And when that wasn't enough to stop it, now by putting this whole thing where it's not readily available for most people to have a copy of their birth certificate, or to know that isn't it only like 30 or 35% of Americans have a passport, something like that?
Yep. I think it's an extremely low number.
Which is another thing. But the thing that's fucked to me, you already forced all of these people to go get fucking real IDs to fly. So to take this to which is supposed to be the most authentic ass way to prove who the fuck you are. So to take this to the nth degree now and do that, the other thing that this does that's actually a problem, because of this idea with the SAVE Act, you were getting rid of mail-in ballots by a ball, because you would need to show your ID as they're presenting it in order to turn in a mail-in ballot, which essentially effectively gets rid of all sorts of shit, which includes.
And here's the thing. They don't have any people. The problem about the passport thing is not even just the cost, which is like $155, $160. It's not even that thing. It's the processing time.
Yep, it's the processing time. It's all of that. And of course, you do it right now. People aren't paying enough attention to what's going on. People don't watch the news like that. And then when it's time for them to try and go vote, they're They're royally fucked.
Bingo.
But here you go. This is an article from KGW8. I don't know what city that's in. But essentially in this article, they're saying Trump was quoted in saying, "We're the only country in the world that has mail-in ballots the way that we do. This is unbelievable. It generates cheating. So it's no mail-in ballots with the exception of disability, illness, military, or if you're traveling, you can get an exemption." Opponents of the SAVE Act say the bill would do the opposite of strengthening election integrity and instead suppresses turnout among eligible voters rather than rooting out fraud. These changes will make it difficult for senior citizens, the rural community voters, working parents, and so many others who actually vote. And as Jay mentioned, it will specifically affect a lot of married women because if your name, as you have had it changed, is not changed then on your birth certificate to show that, they can go, well, you're not Mary Smith. You say that you're Mary Smith. I see here that you're Mary Johnson. So nope, sorry, you don't get to fucking vote. So
also,
yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's exactly what you said. It is in effect going to potentially stop thousands, if not millions, of women from being able to vote.
But here's the small caveat that is starting to happen with that. I wanted to get us to get through all that because of the small caveat. Would you like to know what that caveat is? There are now becoming many Republican congressmen and women who are slowly beginning to push back on it. Why are they pushing back, Jay? They're supposed to be supporting Donald Trump. Well, someone on their staff had to tell them, hey, listen, you might think this is a good thing, but like Winston brought up earlier, rural voters, that's your base. So if your base can't vote, what happens then?
Then all of a sudden, all these random congressmen and women, where because they're trying to prove a point, a lot of those liberals will drive their ass in to go do it, whereas a lot of these rural voters cannot make it there.
They cannot make it.
And this is another big one too. As we already know, there has been a war on trans folk. Trans folk will also have that same issue because of name changes and everything else. Like this is a giant slap in the face. But again, Trump knows. He knows he's fucked, and he continues to do what he can to make it so he is not the loser that he is.
Yeah, buddy. Because again, if he cannot, he needs a major event to cancel the midterm elections, right? A major event.
To that point, he still can't even cancel it. But like he can make things a problem. But that's the thing. All those are run by states. He can't.
That's what I was about to bring up. All elections are state elections. They're state by state. So regardless, you're going, because now another thing, unless you're paying attention closely, seats are already flipping.
Yes, but I'll tell you this: there's a reason why. You know, the big story that was going on last week. He said multiple times out loud in interviews and in press conferences or whatever that he believes that elections need to be federalized and that the states are agents of the federal government, so they need to turn over their power for that. And multiple times you had his people go, no, he's just talking about the SAVE Act. He's just saying that the SAVE Act is so important. He goes, no. We need to federalize elections. The states don't need to be able to have the power to do that. There's too much corruption in the states. The states shouldn't be able to do that. We're just dealing with the most corrupt.
Here's something a lot of people may not know. And again, if you do, please forgive me for saying it as if you are uneducated on it. The United States of America, you need to look at every single state as if it's its own country.
Yes.
Because literally, that's what it is. We call other countries states, right? So technically, there are 50 countries represented under one umbrella.
Think of it. The easiest way to think of it is to think of how the EU works.
Yes.
How it's the same thing in that regard, though obviously worldwide we don't consider states countries, but like these like kind of principalities and all that kind of stuff. But it's the same concept. The EU doesn't get to, like, there's certain things they do if you want to be a part of it, but you can't just come up in France and do whatever the fuck you want. It's like you know what I'm saying? Like it's so.
Speaking of which, so things have gotten so much more with that. So now you tie all this into the Epstein files, which are still coming out consistently. And I want to say this real quick before we go into depth of what just came out today from Representative Ted Lieu, who openly spoke on what he's seen in the files. I'd like to say this. I really don't understand the mind, the logic, the lack thereof of these smooth-brained maggots. And here's why I say this. Because let them tell it, the Epstein files and everything that's been released incriminates so many people. But for some reason, the same files, the same documents that incriminate so many people, I said it on the stream, and I'll say it again. The same documents that have Trump's name in it more times than Jesus is in the Bible, they exonerate him, but incriminate everybody else. I'm sorry, how does that work? So, Representative Ted Lieu, I wish we would have pulled the video for it. I don't know if anybody did.
I might have it if you just want to read what you're going to read.
So he spoke on, because I didn't know if we had it written down anywhere. I didn't see it in the run sheet, so I just
neither was the Stephen A. Smith thing, because apparently the Matt brought that up too, and I was like, we didn't. If it was on the thing, I would have said something, but you know.
So
Representative
Ted Lieu, he literally came out today and stated that he has seen. I'll let him speak for it. Winston's about to play the video. Y'all check this out. Okay, I'm gonna just be here. I'm not gonna leave dead air. Okay. Streamlabs.com/Blerds in the hood.
And Bill Hillary Clinton is because they're trying. So why are Republicans so interested in Bill and Hillary Clinton? It's because they're trying to distract from the fact that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files thousands and thousands of times. In those files, there's highly disturbing allegations of Donald Trump raping children, of Donald Trump threatening to kill children. So I encourage your press to look at these allegations. And I'm highly disturbed that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche just got the law wrong. Yesterday, he said, essentially, that it is not a crime to party with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, that's actually not correct. If Jeffrey Epstein was human trafficking minors for these sex parties, and you show up and patronize the establishment at that party, yes, you're guilty, because patronizing is part of the law, of the federal sex trafficking law. So Deputy General Todd Blanche just got that wrong, which maybe explains why they aren't investigating all these folks, including Donald Trump. He needs to read the law and investigate these people. He also needs to resign, not only for not knowing the law, but a massive, not only screw up, but the biggest privacy violation in history. They release a lot of pictures of minors unredacted, just violated the privacy of these girls. It is uncalled for what they did. The one thing that they could not do under this law was to invade the privacy of these women now, who were girls at the time, who were victims of sex trafficking. Also, he met with Ghislaine Maxwell, moved her to minimum security prison, and then got a puppy for her. So for all those reasons, he's just got to leave the Department of Justice.
So, again, people keep bringing, there are people who go, well, what about Bill Clinton, this person, that person, that person? Again, I think we've said it numerous times. Whoever is in it and is found to have been guilty of these things and violated young women and young girls and just young children in general, throw them under a jail, right? That does not exonerate. I don't care how much of a cult following you, how much you are ingrained in this cult. I do not care the fact that you just don't want to admit you were wrong, because that's what this is. You just don't want to admit you. Oh, how was I wrong? You know, how was I wrong? I should have voted. You know, I voted for this and blah, 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 blah. You were wrong. Everyone told you were wrong. And so now we're at this juncture. We're looking at the biggest cover-up in history on a federal level, because again, we're looking at something where the president of the sitting president of the United States is held civilly liable for sexual assault, so that makes him a rapist. and according to these documents, is also a pedophile. What are we doing here, people? What are we fucking doing here? Because again, all of y'all all these maggots and these QAnon folks and all these also people like, see, the conspiracy theories was right. No, you weren't. Here's the problem with conspiracy theories. You throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. You can make up a bunch of shit and you get around to it. But every last one of them was like, yo, he gonna run on the Epstein files, Winston. He gonna release the Epstein files and everybody gonna go down, right? That's what Donald Trump gonna do. He gonna make sure the Epstein files come out and everybody gonna go down. Over 6 million documents have been released. 6 million. And people keep being like, why hasn't anybody been arrested? No one will be arrested because everybody who's supposed to do the arresting is covering up for the president, just so you know. People keep being like, why the Democrats aren't doing shit? Because they have zero power, actually, in government at all. The Republicans, whether they're maggots or regular GOP members, they run all three branches of government. So, yeah, buddy. People voted for this. This is what we're in for. Buckle up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really surprised at this particular point, but you know, like I guess it's one of those things that like we have continued to sure, Matt, if you can find it, bring it up. This has just continued to go on, and like you said, people keep backing off instead and backtracking instead of anything else. You know what I mean? So like I guess I'm just used to it at this point, which is fucked up. There's no world in which we should ever be used to shit like this. And you would hope.
I will always say, remember, I love Jimmy Nails. I always bring up the conversation we had with Jimmy in the chat when Jimmy was like, no, the Epstein files will be the one that the straw that breaks the camel back. And I kept telling Jimmy, I said, no, it won't. No, it won't. It's
a louder, it's more wind, but it isn't enough to actually become a tornado or a hurricane and actually destroy anything. And as far as this administration goes, it's got people like, okay, maybe this is finally moving a little bit, but I don't know, man. I am, unfortunately, the joke of him being quote unquote Teflon Don is a little bit too on point at a certain level.
Do you understand how much control and manipulation you have to have on people? The fact that you are damn near proven. They even say there's videos. Let me go further. There are videos and picture evidence of him doing this shit.
Yeah.
Within these files.
Oh shit. Okay. Matt pulled Jamel Hill's thoughts on Stephen A. running for president. Let me pull that really quick because we don't need his ass being president either. But here.
So you guys aren't gonna like what I'm about to say next. I don't blame Stephen A. Smith for considering this run or considering running for president. Not because I think he's qualified and not because I think he's necessary. Well, I won't call him unfit for office, but he's not qualified to be president of the United States, in my opinion. But here's the thing. Among the many things that is troublesome about the new standards and new decorum that's been set by Donald Trump is that he has made a lot of people think winning the presidency is possible because of his background. Because the way that he won the presidency, while I think some of this is very unique to him, there were certain staples and certain things that he did that connect with voters in a way that is a blueprint for other people who lack experience, who lack expertise, but feel like they have a chance. The number one thing that Stephen A. has going for him is name recognition. Mm-hmm. Stephen A. is on TV 5 days a week. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure if you count the weekends, some days it's 7 days a week. He's on the biggest sports network in America all the time. He has managed to cross over into other circles of influence. He has his own show on YouTube, which has millions of subscribers. He has built his own sort of media echo chamber and empire. Being able to do that is very influential.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing Stephen A. Smith has going for him is that Stephen A. Smith knows how to speak in sound bites.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
That people connect with simple messaging.
Yes,
Donald
he
Trump
does.
understood this too. Simple messaging, name recognition, not denying the racism and the bigotry, which also appealed to people. And that was his recipe for success. And it still works. See, we are, especially now that you see media is sort of shrinking and media is very homogenized, and people are now going to media, whether they be legitimate media or not, they just want their opinions confirmed. They don't actually want to learn anything. Social media is very easy to create narratives. It's very easy to create your own storylines. J.D. Vance said that Haitians were eating pets. And people ran with that shit for weeks. It's people that actually believe that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't, if you're Stephen A. and you've mastered media in your own right, and you know that's the key to getting and attracting people, why wouldn't you do it?
Okay, pause. I was told really quick to jump to 4750, so I'm going to do that, and then we'll wrap this part up.
So Stephen A. believes that white people, the same white people who just elected or who elected Donald Trump twice, that white people don't care about racism, even though the whole reason many of them voted for Donald Trump is because of racism.
Hello.
And so that answer right there, let me know he's definitely running for president, and he'll run as a Democrat, or maybe even, I almost would say an independent, but I think he'll run as a Democrat.
Yep.
And listen, you may think I'm crazy, but if I'm the Democrats, given Stephen A.'s name recognition and his constant ability to attract audience, to speak in sound bites, to debate, because Stephen A. on a debate stage, it will get real. Again, we have a president that is loose on the facts, and I know some of you
we can
he's never going to get away with it.
Let's stop it. She's not. I want everybody to understand. Jamel Hill is not wrong.
Nope.
Literally, Donald Trump has set a brand new precedent. I remember the joke. There was a joke that was going around I think they were in his first presidency, that the only person who could beat him running against him was The Rock. And it's funny to say, because you're talking about somebody with millions of followers, social media savvy, all these things, and knows how to connect with people. And you're like, damn. And if you're listening to this when you think of Stephen A. Smith, also, you got to remember too, if he runs as a Democrat, it's going to be the perfect fucking storm, because then you are going to have these hotep ass niggas who are going to literally go, well, if I got to choose him or Gavin Newsom, who we more than likely is the presumptive Democratic nominee, he hasn't even officially announced his candidacy. I'm telling you, you're going to split that shit down the middle. And if you split that shit down the middle, if you thought this shit was a menagerie before, whoo, baby, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm just expecting all the like, it's going to become an excuse, and then on top of that, then it's going to be like, oh, so y'all are actually racist because you won't support, this black man or whatever the fuck. Like, it's.
Go back. Remember a couple months ago with the governor's election in Virginia, where what was her name? Winston Spears, the black woman who was a MAGA chick. Nobody was rocking with her, and everybody was like, "Oh, y'all gonna support this white woman and this black woman?" Everybody was like, "Yes." Because the black woman is the coonest of coons right now.
She is indeed the coonest of coons, bro. She was the absolute fucking worst.
And so, go ahead.
No, nothing. I finish your thought.
Okay. And so it's like, you got to think, people like, oh, well, we got to have better. We talk about this consistently on the show. And I know, reason a lot of politics and things like this have happened. And we got to get ready to move on to our next thing, because we got to get to the Karens. We have to start accepting that society, bless you, society has proven that motherfuckers are dumb.
I mean, yes.
That's the only way I can break that down. Motherfuckers are dumb. And there's nothing, again, Stephen A knows how to talk in sound bites, but there's nothing on this planet that would convince me that Stephen A. Smith, this nigga would be so, his running mate would fuck around and be LeBron James.
He shits on LeBron too much, but I understand what you're saying. I'm trying to think who he would potentially tap, and then that in and of itself is its own kind
nightmare thinking. But anyway,
it would probably be Bill Maher. I'm being honest. I feel like that
is terrifying to think about.
Yep, 1000%. So all that being said, we got to do our next segment. Do we have a Karen?
Oh, we absolutely got one.
Okay, great. Then
we have one.
Okay, great. Then
I got it in there. It should be an extra Blerds.
Okay, great. I don't see it, but we still don't have the Karen's thing in the regular.
Oh my God, I'll put it.
Here it is. Here it is. Ode to
And
Karen.
now, an ode to Karens, brought to you by Blerds in the Hood. Now, before we go into this dedication, you must be asking yourself, well, what is a Karen and what does it mean? Well, Karen is a mocking slang term for an entitled, obnoxious, middle-aged white woman, especially as featured in memes. Karen is generally stereotyped as having a blonde bob haircut, asking to speak to retail and restaurant managers to voice complaints or make demands, and being a nagging, often divorced mother from Generation X. Karens most notably have been known now to call the police on black people when they're just doing this thing called living. You know, something that God allowed them to do. This includes Barbecue Becky, Permit Patty, Sleepin' Sarah, and a host of others. And typically Karens feel that because they are white women, they are entitled to do whatever they want and make life choices based on their insecurities as well as fears. Well, here are a few moments of wild Karens caught in their natural habitat.
Yeah, I was trying to stop y'all from hitting that start button because I had to come into another computer and put the filings. I thought it was in here.
Then I have one. I
have one. I just have to put it in.
No, I understand. So I'll just screen share this real quick. This went viral. It's very short. We actually only get to see the person standing up to the Karen here. But this high school kid is the shit. Check this shit out.
I support ICE. That's crazy. I don't know what's crazy about this.
Yeah, I'm going to punch you.
You're gonna punch me?
Yes.
And you're gonna get in trouble for that.
Okay.
Whoa. I support ICE.
The speed at which I'm gonna watch that shit again.
I don't know what's crazy about this.
The old boy was like,
You're gonna punch me?
Yes.
And you're gonna get in trouble for that.
Okay.
the fact he got a clap in before him, bro.
The clap is what make it the best.
He clearly has been hanging with some niggas because he hit that clap before he started to try and clap upside that boy's head, bro. I love it. And the reason that we know it's a Chad, you can see it was a white hand that pulled away after the fact. Be like, so
we're uploading right now. As soon as it's there, we have one. I definitely had to make sure it goes in the system because I didn't, I thought it went in and it didn't go in. That sounds so wild. I know what I'm in.
Dude, have you seen these fucking memes of Houston Texans fans finding kind of bigger, stronger ladies that keep winning these pushing battles and fights? They're fucking grown ass men up. So then it'll be like McDonald's girl, heavy hands, road grader, plays with leverage, good anchor, potential day 3 interior offensive lineman for the Texans. And so it's just all of these here, like this one. Hold on. While you're still uploading. Like this. So this girl was there we go. So this girl was in the McDonald's. So here's the thing. McDonald's girl, heavy hands, road grader, plays with leverage. And you see how she is fucking this dude up. He is he is not getting to the quarterback at all. She's making damn sure that. So there's been a whole slew of these of hold on. There was another one here that I had saved just in case that I thought was also fucking hilarious. It was right.
What else? I need to close. Everything's fucking closed.
Just saw it. There it is. Best Buy girl does well in a phone booth. Lateral quickness, high motor, good gap scheme fit. Potential for late first rounder or early day 2 O-line for the Texans. Bro, same thing. You are not getting to the goddamn quarterback.
Damn. Hey, my biggest question is this. Why do people I get as security, your job is to do certain things, right? Mm-hmm. But if you see somebody stealing, why do people be trying to stop it like it's going to, change? It's always a thing to me.
Here's another one. Table throwing girl found in the area, dense build, 2-gap ability, forklift power, physical temperament, solid late first round, early day second round, one tech that can eat double teams and be a force multiplier. Or peeping Tom mom, nose for the ball, mirrors in space, lateral burst thumper, plays square.
Damn!
Experienced off-ball linebacker who could be the immediate plug-and-play starter for the Texans.
Damn!
Yeah, she caught somebody looking in at her daughter. Hey, got that motherfucker, bro.
There you go. Cool. All right, I got our Karen.
Got it? Okay, bet. Go for it.
All right. Let me close that so I can leave. You need to leave. All right. All right. Where's the mouse over here? Where's the goddamn cursor? Here you go. Check. Want to see Karen fuck herself up by running her mouth? Watch this.
Who called? You called?
I called up and stuff.
What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Are you hurt?
No, not really.
You want Max to check you out?
No.
Brian Garth 3, 10, 12, both parties. So what's going on?
I live upstairs and I'm trying to work. I had a phone call coming and this noise just keeps going and going and going. So I just was on the balcony and I was like, excuse me, can you make that noise stop? Because he wasn't in the vehicle, it wasn't moving or anything, but can you just make the noise stop? I have to get on this phone call. People live up here. And he just dismissed me, so I came down and I was like, can you please make this noise stop? And he's like, get the f*** out of here. And I'm like, oh, I'll get the f*** out of here. So I come around to the vehicle, to the side. I didn't get in the vehicle, but it was slightly open, so I just stepped up and I shut it off one notch. And he pulled me by my arm.
The car? The key?
The key, yeah. Okay. I just shut it off one notch, and he pulled me by my arm down. And he held on to me really tight and pulled me. And so I pushed him to get off of me, and then he punched me in the face.
Okay. You have your ID or anything on you?
I can go get it upstairs.
All right.
That escalated
really quick.
Extremely quick.
Can you go ahead and turn around for me really quick? I'm just gonna detain you and put you in handcuffs, okay?
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious, yes ma'am.
Why?
Turn around, please.
Why? Is this a joke?
No, it's not a joke.
What is happening?
Like I said, I'm detaining you right now. You're not under arrest, but I'm just detaining you.
Okay. That's very interesting.
Okay.
I get punched in the face when I'm being detained.
All right. You have the right to remain silent, not answer any questions. Any statement you make must be finished on your rights, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, so
what I don't understand is why I'm in handcuffs right now.
Because you're detained, I'm by myself, and you came from your house down here because of a noise from the garbage truck, and you pushed this gentleman, okay? Hold on, that's what you just told me.
So I'm by myself.
Hold on, I'm by myself, so I'm detaining you because I'm by myself, okay? We got to cause a...
detained. He's the one who punched me in the face.
Listen,
this doesn't make any sense.
All right, I asked you if you were hurt and did you need medics. I don't see any injuries on you, but from what you just told me, okay, you went and entered his car, his work vehicle.
I just
you
shut
turned
the thing off.
Okay.
I grabbed her, pulled her down, so you can pull the business, cut it off.
Okay.
And then I stuck in the mouth, and then you just punched me.
Okay.
Really, lady?
At any point did you hit her? Okay. So let me ask you this: did she put any hands on you, or did she touch you at all?
She pushed me.
She pushed you? How did she push you? In the chest?
Yeah.
If you want to press charges, that's you know right now, based off of your story and her story, you're the victim. That's why we're asking if you want to press charges, meaning she's going to be prosecuted. If not. All right, so ma'am, you're going to be placed under arrest today for simple battery.
Are you kidding me?
No, ma'am.
He punched me in the face, and I'm the one that's going to jail. I've got my 2 dogs upstairs. I have to pee. I have to call work. This is insane to me right now, and nothing's happened. And he's a grown man who punched a woman in the face.
Like I told you earlier, I still don't understand what.
I don't understand why you.
No, hold on a second. I don't understand what why you think you have the right to go into someone else's
I
property.
didn't go into it. I just shut it off one notch to shut the noise off.
I'll be honest with you. You're lucky you're not going to jail for stealing a vehicle.
Are you joking me?
No.
That is so extra.
Well, so listen, so I know it's a lot going on, but I need you to calm down.
Leave my dogs upstairs like that.
Okay,
no, I
so-
cannot calm down. He punched me in the face.
Hold on. If that was a police car and we had sirens on there, would you come down there and do the same thing you did to that car?
Not a police car. I'm not an idiot.
Okay, so
Are you laughing with him? He punched me in the face. He punched me in the face and you're over there laughing with him and nothing's gonna happen? I'm sorry, where are your shoes? Well, they're upstairs. I live here. He punched me in the face.
You're missing everything before.
No, you're missing the punch in the face. I've never been punched in the face in my life.
Wait. The very first crime that was committed was you entering his
I
truck.
didn't enter his truck.
Okay, so I need to
Piece
give him
of
a...
shit.
Watch your mouth.
Fuck around.
The more you fuck around,
you find the fuck out. Bitch, you admitted to the first crime. The minute you entered his vehicle and illegally touched it, you fucking admitted to a crime.
Wait. Don't forget, the moment he pulled up, he said, "Are you hurt? Do you need a medic?" You said no and no, and then openly admitted to a crime. Oh.
People were that stupid. Because that is genuinely wild to me. She openly admitted to essentially breaking into his property, fucking with it in a way that just as the cops could have literally implied, well, you're touching his car key in the same way that if your car keys are in the ignition at all and you're intoxicated, they will get you on a DUI. It's the same. Like, we don't know what you could have done. You could have literally driven off with his fucking vehicle.
You cannot. I just turned the key. You entered. In order to turn the key in a car, you have to enter into the vehicle. Dude. You think because you weren't sitting there. I love this video so much because the dude, you can tell it's like, I'm just trying to do my goddamn job.
Did you catch the cognitive dissonance that's happening in her mind, where she goes, it's like, you just told me you got in this car and you turned off because it was making noise. Like, okay, but if I was here on business and my siren was going off, would you go into my police car? And tell them, no, I'm not an idiot, nigga. It's the same fucking thing. It is the same thing. You do not go into somebody else's car and start fucking with a shit.
She thought
I love that black man immediately, the trash man immediately said, yeah, go ahead and press them charges real quick.
Here's why. And I'm gonna say this too. And this definitely needs to be said. We talk about it a lot, and this has happened a lot. The weaponization of white woman tears. We looked at that black man. If that man would have punched her, if he done anything to her face, she'd have been red from it. Anything. You can't keep saying he punched me in the face. How many Karens have we done on this show that you've seen women on the phone being recorded and they yell and punch themselves in the face? So like, I feel my dogs are upstairs. You should have thought about that before you brought your dumb ass downstairs. Well, I had a work call. You better learn to close the window. It was a garbage truck. He was not going to be there all day.
That's the thing. And I understand that, like, look, I will say this much from somebody who literally had to live outside of a hellscape of a construction zone for like 2 to 3 years. There are some elements at which the people that are there, especially from the standpoint of like they were set up shop outside the fucking building, where they're genuinely just being shitty people to the neighborhood and making things worse, like running generators that are only supposed to go to 5 p.m. until 9 o'clock at night. And I've got essentially gas fumes blowing into my fucking apartment and driving myself, but especially driving my partner crazy the entire fucking time. There's a difference between that and the trash guy has to come in, loud ass motherfucking beeping to get the general dumpsters for this apartment building and drive it out. The whole process takes about 15 or 20 minutes. But guess what? The nigga is getting the trash the fuck up out of here. So you know who doesn't say shit even if I'm fucking live? Fucking me. Thank you for your service. Have a good day. Stupid motherfucker. All right, we got to get the fuck up out of here, man. I have one last minor Karen that I just saw that had me fucking laughing. Unfortunately, I'm everything men don't want. Right-wing, funny, affectionate. I don't deny anything, and I hate leftists. And someone goes, honey, Republican men want 13-year-olds. You are 50.
There's been a lot of those on Threads recently. Everything. Don't nobody fucking want you. Don't nobody want you. Look. Go ahead, tell people I can find you.
Oh shit! Someone posted a meme that said, "Why are conservative women giving their opinions? If I wanted to know what you thought, ask your husband or your pastor." Holy shit, bro!
I'd ask your husband or your pastor.
Oh man. All right. Well, Jay, tell him what you got.
I told him you do it. I went to you first. I already threw it to you.
All right, that's fine. Yeah, for sure. You can find me at the Swaggy Blerd on all platforms. Here on YouTube, I put out my my Mandalorian and Grogu trailer reaction. I've put out my How to Make a Killing out of the theater reaction. If you guys are curious about that new Glenn Powell movie that's coming out, I've got some other stuff that should be popping off. I got Spill the Tequila on Tuesdays with Roca. I'm obviously here every Wednesday. I need to finish uploading our stuff up here. I can do that as soon as we wrap tonight. And then Capes and Cows on Friday. Myself, Christian Harloff, and Chris Carr. As well as the Demon Slayer reactions, which are in Christian's membership right now. And then I got some other stuff that's popping off, but that's the main thing for right now. Jay, what?
Hi guys. Social media is where you can find me. I'm on the Instagram platform. I am also on Threads. I'm here on the YouTube. I have my own channel. I am on the Tick of Talk. All of those things you can find me at Mr. Jay Washington. That's MRJAY. I always say you should know how to spell Washington, but I think a lot of people might be illiterate. So it's WASHINGTON. Okay, I'm there. If you are in LA, stand-up wise, tomorrow night I will be at the Peacock Show at Club TG in Atwater Village at 8 p.m. Saturday I will be in the Redlands doing Don't Tell Comedy. Sunday, I will be moderating a panel for Virtuous Con. I will be moderating that panel. What's the panel name again?
What? Virtuous? Thank you for proving my point.
I'll be moderating the panel for Virtuous Con. So I'll be doing that at 2 p.m. Eastern, which is 11 a.m. Pacific. So I'll post the link up to the panel on my social media thing. That's that. If you're in San Diego, I will be headlining at Mic Drop Comedy Club in San Diego, April 25th. Come check that out. Austin, I'll be in Austin, Texas for Moon Tower Comedy Festival from April 15th through the 19th. What else is there? I got a bunch of other stand-up shows in and around Los Angeles. I'll be going around doing that. If you want to buy one of these paintings are going for $75 a piece. Come buy them. I'm getting rid of them. Please come grab them. Come back here every Wednesday. Every Wednesday we'll be back here. That's all I got. All right. So that being said,
also I was just gonna say, someone just asked this, and I forgot. You remember that we used to have a rule that if we hit 100 likes, that we would play that bitch?
We need to go back to it.
I think we do. At the bare minimum, I see 89 motherfuckers up in here right now, specifically on YouTube, 82, and we only got 63 likes. So I'll say I'm gonna go ahead and play the outro, and if y'all can hit that like button before we get out this hoe, then you can have your dessert. But you're not gonna not have your vegetables and then just get dessert, motherfucker. So with that, I love each and every one of you. Thank you to everybody that's in the stream lab, everybody that watched the marathon and shit. Come back and watch all the other shit that we got going on, man, because it's gonna be up here and posted and all that shit. For Mr. Jay Washington, I am Winston A. Marshall. We love y'all. We'll see you later, fam. Peace.
Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch.
man. It's finally starting to hit me that I didn't do shit for Valentine's Day and didn't do nothing afterwards. I just was thinking about that. What were you about to say?
I was just gonna say maybe I got something in like something as far as like being a black dad, bro. Like I did that shit and we jumped up to 75. It looks like motherfucking likes on that shit. So
let me double check. I'll check while you're looking there now. I will look again. And it seems as if we have, okay. That's a nice, you used to send me the thumbnails. You don't do it no more.
I made it kind of last minute. That's my fault.
You know what? That's fine. Okay, yeah, we do have like 74 from what I saw. 75.
Okay. Oh, that was the wrong one. My bad.